Morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Let's get started with Kristen and then Paul.
Morning, Doug. Watching Andy Reid on the sidelines yesterday, he had his face shield, which is getting some attention now. I know for San Francisco and Buffalo, you'll have to wear a mask as well. I'm curious what that process is like, choosing what kind of mask or shield you'll wear when you have to go through those games.
Yeah, I did. I saw the same thing. I just think it's preference. I've tried the shield in our building from the standpoint of just getting a little more airflow. I do all the when I stand up and talk in front of the team and things like that. Having a mask, it just kind of restricts voice inflection and understanding what I'm saying and different things. But wearing that shield allows you to speak a little more clearly. He feels comfortable in that. I'm gonna wear an actual mask with my headset and microphone over the mask, but it's just a comfort thing, probably for most coaches at this time.
Go ahead, Paul, and then Elliot.
Hey, Doug. Just wanted to ask you for an injury update, particularly on Lane and Miles. Do you expect both to play on Sunday?
Yeah, both of those guys are doing extremely well. They're still day to day. Obviously, we'll get through today's practice. You'll know more after today's practice, but they're both doing extremely well, and we'll see here in the next couple of days.
Hey, Doug,
Elliot.
I had a question about the backup quarterback position. How close do you think Jalen Hurts is to being ready to go out and play if he were needed to go into a game at this point?
Well, I think I think he's in a really good place, if need be or to be called upon, and obviously we're comfortable with both guys with Nate and Jalen, and we'll see as we go. Hopefully, knock on wood, we don't have to get to that spot, but I feel comfortable if he were to go in a game, we'd be okay.
Go ahead, Jeff McClain, and then Ed Kratz.
Doug, Derek Barnett has not practiced all of training camp. Well, he didn't practice all of training camp, but apparently he's back this week, and he's got a hamstring. What exactly has been holding him back, and what is your expectation for him Sunday?
Well, what's holding him back is us. I mean, we're making sure that he's 100%. He's feeling good. He's still day to day. I would put him in the same bucket as Miles and Lane. With an opportunity. So we'll see here in the next couple of days how he feels. Today's a big day for all these guys, as you guys know, on Friday to get out there and practice, and then we'll find out more as we get closer to Sunday.
Go ahead, Ed, and then Mike Kay.
Hi, Doug. Zach Ertz talked to us yesterday, and he said that he really wants to stay with the Eagles for the long run, but he doesn't think the feeling is mutual. What's your reaction to that?
Look, I'm not going to get into a ton of this, because my expertise is not necessarily the contract stuff and those types of issues. All I know is Zach Ertz is a tremendous football player. He's a great person. Love having him on this football team. He is a leader, and he's helped us. Gosh, he's helped us win a lot of games around here. He led our team in receptions, and he's a big part. He's a valuable part of what we do, offensively, but also as a team. So. I'm excited that he's here. I'm excited that he's a part of an Eagle. He and I, we get along extremely well. I love having him. We game plan for him. So, I just hope we can put all that behind us and move on to football.
Go ahead, Mike, and then Les.
Hey, Doug. The new rules to bring two guys up from the practice squad, you have to tell the league by Saturday at 4. Are you going to utilize?
Oh, you're cutting out.
That more as like an injury insurance, or do you plan on using that kind of from a better now?
Reload your question. We cut out. Start over.
So the new 55. Okay. The new.
All right, let's go to Les and then Zach Berman, and we'll come back to you, Mike. Go ahead, Les.
Okay. Well, I'll ask that question since Mike couldn't get it out. I think he's asking about the two call-ups from the practice squad and how you plan to use that. Is that you see that as strictly as an injury thing? Do you see it as a strategic weapon? And you can only the guys you bring up, you can only do that twice in a year. So it would seem to me that you might be more inclined to use a guy that maybe you don't have long-term plans for rather than than somebody who you don't want to use them up in the first few weeks and then not be able to bring them up anymore.
Right, and there's really two different like protocols for us, two separate rules. The one you guys are touching on is the practice squad and elevating and activating those guys for game day. That is a rule, and that's by 4:00 on Saturday. And then there is a second rule. It's a COVID rule that if a player were to get ill on the weekend, that we have 90 minutes before game time to activate another practice squad player. So, there's two different options there. Obviously, we don't ever want to get to the second one if we don't have to. But I think more importantly, these guys are in a position. Number one, they practice all week. They understand the game plan. They're in a position to help us. And I these first couple of weeks of the regular season when everybody is fresh and healthy, it's just possibly an extra guy for maybe special teams or something of that nature. But I know as we go down the road, I'm just if I had a crystal ball, I could probably tell you that as injuries begin to mount during the regular season, these guys will be called upon a little bit more.
And the second, the COVID, the guy that you could bring up on Sunday if someone gets sick, that has to be COVID related.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that has to be a COVID. It has to be related to COVID. That's the other rule. Yes.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Zach, and then Jamie.
Hey, Doug, as far as the captains this year, were they picked by the team or did you pick them? And why the increase from 5 to 8 this year?
I picked them, and the league set the amount.
And why did you pick them as opposed to the team voting?
I just felt like that, looking at our team and where we are and the pandemic and all the virtual things that we've done, in our building, around our building, and looking at where we are, that I felt the best interest for the football team, is to make that decision myself. And so I picked the 8 guys. The league is allowing us to have, 8 captains. In the past, it's been 6. But as you saw last night, only one can go out to, midfield there for the coin toss.
Go ahead, Jamie, and then Dave Zingari.
Doug, Sunday's probably going to be one of the more bizarre games you've ever coached, given, just the circumstances and the fact it's going to be played in front of an empty stadium. I'm sure you've thought about that. I talked to an NFL exec who was saying that they're going to pump in a soundtrack that you guys are going to be able to hear inside the bowl there. But have you thought about the challenges and or how different things are going to be with that kind of silence and the fake crowd noise and what that's going to be like?
We got a little taste of it at our scrimmage, at the link 2 weeks ago, and I thought our guys handled it pretty well. We still have to understand. We're obviously going to be prepared from an offensive perspective with different cadences and things of that nature to keep ourselves at hopefully at an advantage there. But it really is going to be sort of it's going to be different. It's going to be kind of eerie, when you step out into a stadium right at kickoff, because the crowd, the energy, the electricity, in the stadium is something that we all feed off of. This is part of our game. It's part of our sport. It's the emotion of playing football, playing a gladiator type sport where there's a lot of collisions, and guys that get excited for that. They get energized for that. So, it's something that I've talked to our team quite a bit about from the standpoint of self-motivation, going into games like this, or group motivations going into games of this nature. And we're gonna find out Sunday, but it's gonna be different, I know.
Dave, and then Bo.
Hey, Doug, Jalen Reagor was a full participant yesterday. When that injury happened, it looked like it was a little more significant. Is he healed faster than you anticipated? And even if he plays Sunday, do you have to manage him a little bit?
Yeah, Jalen's doing really well. We've kind of, we've taken it day by day with him. We've kind of increased him this week. We want to see where he's at. You guys know we're not going to put anybody out there that's not 100% or better. And he's feeling good. So we'll get through these next couple of days, but, expect some good things. He's felt good. So we'll see where he's at the next, here in the next 48 hours.
Oh, and then Rube.
Hey, Doug, we have seen in the past you sort of rotating guards mid-game when you were sort of trying to find the right answer. Is that something we may see at right guard, or do you want to settle in on somebody there?
I mean, ultimately, you'd like to settle in so there's consistency, but at the same time, we have worked several guys in there and given everybody an opportunity. Again, we're in these unique times where you have to, you got to practice all your offensive linemen and have them prepared and ready, and having the eighth guy is beneficial for us, and having them all dressed. So at the end of the day, yeah, you would like to have a solid right guard, or any offensive line position to be solidified. But at the end of the day, we end up finding the best 11 to get us through either a series or a game, at the moment.
We have time for two more, so we'll do Rube and then John McMullen.
Hey, Doug, we saw Corey Clement show up on the injury report with a quad yesterday. When did that happen? And with Miles banged up and Corey banged up, you have Boston and the new kid healthy. What's your level of concern with the health at that position?
Yeah, it was just kind of precautionary with Corey. We'll see where he's at again today. Listen, it's something that what I appreciate about our players is they take responsibility, they take ownership. When they feel something, they say something, and we can get them treated. So we'll find out today after practice. But again, this is why we practice everybody. You practice guys like Michael Warren and Elijah Holyfield and Adrian Killens. You practice all your guys, so if something comes up, you have the ability to bring somebody up in moments' notice.
Go ahead, John.
Hey, Doug. You've had a lot of success now, pretty large sample size, week one season openers. When you self-scout, any themes that you think have helped you guys be successful early in the season?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, a lot of times sometimes it's the unknown of going, even if it's an opponent that we know, or a coaching staff that we know, there's still the unknowns of, what have they been working on in training camp, right? And you're coming out with different plays, different defenses, things of that nature, But our guys, I feel comfortable. It's, you're only as good, I guess, as how you practice and go about your business. And our guys have handled the opening day well, whether we've been at home or on the road. We were fortunate, obviously, as you guys know, to win that game last year against this team here. I mean, it was not an easy game, and anytime you're playing a division opponent to start the season, you've got to be on your stuff, and this game will be no different.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.